We just finished the whole video presentation here on YouTube, and I'm starting today's first live stream. Um, Basically, what we want to do is stay throughout the campaign for the day and start answering questions, talking with the community, maybe bring some guests that are in the community and retro gaming community, game preservation community. What else? IP acquisition, business, etc. And I'll be answering questions, talking to them if they join, talking to anybody in the community. So please, if you're on Facebook, go to our post and send us questions and comments, etc. If you're on Kickstarter, I'm already getting some questions on Kickstarter that I'll address in a minute. We are already, yeah, we got 7 backers in the first, I want to say 10 minutes or so, and 1,500. So thank you everybody that's pledging. I really appreciate it. I hope we can definitely reach the goal and more. I feel like there's a lot more to talk to about the campaign, and we prepared it in a way that it was mostly the main points, but there's a lot of things in the works, a lot of things that I want to do personally with Bleem and with the company in general. And I hope throughout the day, we can explain those things and we can share some of those plans. But for now, if you guys have any questions, send them over. Any comments? 1 second, I'm getting some messages. And please let me know if anybody's live right now on. Actually, I'm gonna share it on the YouTube. If I'm not responding or talking, just because I'm reading or trying to do something with the campaign or the. Okay, join us live right now and today to talk about right. You see, we have any questions on Discord too. Let me share the video. I'm putting it on Discord. So all those guys that have been bugging me and Discord about which rights of games that we own, that's why I wasn't telling you, because I wanted to save it for this campaign. I wanted to, share or list and catalog or list online for Bleem. There's a lot of things that have been waiting for Bleem that people were like either complaining or wanted to wanted what do you call it wanted to know about that I was just keeping in secret. Let me see if there's any comments here. No comments. There's only one person watching on YouTube, probably my mom. Hi, Mom. I'm just kidding. Oh. I'm gonna try to invite a friend to join us. Let's see. So right now, somebody on Kickstarter asked, first of all, if we are shipping to the US. So yes, we recently moved to Andorra, and this was recently, actually last July. We've set up shop here, and we can get into the reasons why later if that comes to it. But yes, we're pretty set up now to ship to Europe at very affordable prices, to the US at almost, you know, the same prices, probably the same prices that we were charging before we were in, like when we were in Texas, and Mexico too. We've built a logistics triangle. I don't know how to call it, like a 3PL type of logistics. Um, my wife knows more about this, and basically we can deliver goods through most Europe, or especially the European Union, the US, Mexico, at very affordable prices. However, times for the US delivery times are going to be in Mexico as well, are going to be a little bit longer than before. Usually, it took us anywhere from 1 to 6 days to prepare your order. A lot of people don't know, but we do not stock the games completely built in box. So basically, what we do is we have all the parts, and this is my secret to be able to produce and manufacture and release all these different games without breaking the bank and going bankrupt. And it's a lot of, some companies struggle with this because they are like, oh, okay, we need to manufacture 1,000 pieces, and you got to buy a bunch and you hold the stock and whatever. So we only have the parts to assemble the games that we have in stock. Once an order comes in, we put together the PCB, the cartridge, labels, box manual, seal it, etc., and then we ship it. We ship your order. That's why it takes 1 to 6 days to get it ready. Sometimes a little bit more, depending on how many orders we have pending. And then from there, the USPS will take it, and it was like 5 to 7 days at most for the cheapest shipping cost. Now we sort of do the same, but we have to send it from Andorra to the US. However, the way that we have worked things out is that usually, like if we ship your order Monday, it will take 10 days to arrive to the US. And then after 10, 12 days, depending on like if there's going to be weekends in between. And then after that, the USPS will take it and do the last mile delivery. So will take anywhere from 5 to 7 days. So, it kind of almost doubled, but prices are still the same. We ensure that there's no tariffs for you, no custom fees, no things that you have to pay at delivery, things that you have to sign, etc. This is for the US only at the moment. And it's just a few extra days. So it's about the same for Mexico. In Europe, there's still some like VAT or taxes that sometimes you as a consumer gotta pay on the games, but we'll refund that. Basically, we collect VAT on the website. If whenever you arrive, the package arrives to you, you have to pay. You pay it, and we'll refund that whatever you paid for. As soon as you let us know and show the receipt. So yes, we're going to be shipping worldwide, and U.S., Mexico, and Europe, Canada as well. We can do Latin America, although that's a little bit more pricey, and we can do Japan, no problem. I think South Korea as well. So yes, we'll pretty much set up. So I'm gonna answer here some questions. Yes. Okay, so somebody's telling me, okay, a couple of things. Cool. So the team that's handling art development for the key distribution part of Bleem, because that's another thing. We're going to be distributing also Steam keys of our games and any other publisher that wants to sell Steam keys on our website on Blink.net. It seems to be complete as of right now. It's just finished. 1 second. I'm reading. There's another question. Okay, so this is a little bit of a. Okay, so I'm gonna read it. Well, first, let me see what else is out there. If anybody's asking anything else? No questions. Let me see. Oh, thank you, I Heart Pizza. Okay, so I'm very excited about this new version of Bleem. Yes, because I've been working for like 3 years now. And when I purchased the rights of the Bleem logo, it was, I think, 2018. And my idea was not concrete at the time. I was thinking of doing maybe consoles, like clone consoles, like Super Nintendo, call it the Super Bleem, the Mega Bleem for Mega Drive, the Bleem 8-bit for NES, the Bleem Boy for the Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, etc. So that was the initial idea. And it was super hard because factories in China, we're a small company. We were like, we want like 1,000, 2,000 units, and like, no, 5,000 or else. So it was really hard to get that thing going. So it took me a while, and it just hit me one day. We're like, hey, Bleem was an emulator. That's why we were picking the consoles, because kind of like consoles emulating the Super Bleem is emulating Super Nintendo, although it wasn't going to be emulator. It was going to be chip based. Anyways, uh, the what do you call it? The idea hit me when I was like, you know, and I hope nobody takes this the wrong way, but at the time they've changed their ideas and their position now. Good Old Game told me, because I would come periodically to them and said, "Hey, we have these games to release," and they were like, "Yes, whatever, no," because they're curated, they gotta approve them. They're like, "We're not really doing retro games anymore." And I was like, "What do you mean? You're goodoldgames.com?" And they're like, "No, we're not. We're GOG." And that was like, it made me sad because we've Good Old Games was a decent distribution outlet for us, and it still is. And actually, they're doing a great job now with a new. They have a new team, and they have a new position, new ideas in terms of video game preservation and retro video games. They're back to their old selves, and that's how it came to be where the Bleem project came in. And it was 2022 when we sort of announced this project, and it's 2025. But a lot of things we've learned over the years, over the all this time, and we were able to implement it to Bleem. And I think we're in a better position to launch this. At the same time, we develop and acquire a lot more titles, so we're again in a better position to offer something of value. That's one of the things that we want to let people know, or show people, like, hey, we want to give you something of value with these old games. You support us with a Kickstarter. You support us by buying, by subscribing, and you'll get all of this. Like that meme from that guy. Like, not only that, oh wait, there's more, or something like that. And so yeah, so I'm very excited, and yes, I hope that we can turn this into a big thing. Like, not only a small shop online website, we want to turn this into like the community mecca for retro video game, like a ongoing 365 days a year party of retro gaming, retro lifestyle, retro cartoons, toys, etc. Uh, so there's another question here. One second. Yes. I need to address something. Because we have some orders to deliver to the USPS. And I just got to make sure I ping the Texas team real quick. Okay. So, What happened next after? What happens? What happened next? What happens next after the successful Kickstarter campaign? The next thing, all backers. So there's two cool things about this. As a backer, your subscription, if your if your pledge includes a subscription, will not start. It starts whenever I say so. So whenever we have an actual like launch party, or this is the launch day of the Bleem.net beta or alpha or whatever, where you can actually come in and start getting, you know, either buying products, etc. That's when your subscription starts. Okay. But since we have an active online store of retro video games, you will be able to, as soon as the Kickstarter campaign ends, if you see something on our store, on Pico website, on picointeractive.com, there's like, I want to buy that, you will let us know, and we'll process the your pledge. You'll get like credit where you can say like, hey, I got, I don't know, depending on which one, I think it was $100 worth of games. I got $100 worth of games. You'll be able to use that at the end of the Kickstarter campaign on our Pico website and all other websites on the majority, like 90%, 95% of the products, 90% or so. Some of are third party, and you'll be able to get that immediately, and you'll get it at the rate of your subscription. So if your subscription was, oh, you'll get 30% off on all original products, you'll be able to use that, what do you call it, credit or whatever, to pick that game that you want. If we have something that you want at 30% off, and still haven't used your subscription hasn't started. Now that's on the side of pledges and backers. On the side of just in general, the company side of things, it's still in the works. We're gonna tweak the web arcade version that we have to match or finish up some details that we want to get working. Like we need to add a new emulator, which already a team did, but change the emulator. But we need to actually install it for Super Nintendo and PlayStation to make sure they're either MIT or JPL, and for commercial use. Connect everything so it works almost seamlessly, because we're using front end Wix mainly for video editing, not video editing, video distribution, and I can get into that later if the question comes in. And then connect to our shopping cart, which is Equid or Equity, where we will be able to give you a special discount on your shopping. And so we'll connect everything, start uploading. I want to say 100 to 150 titles. That's when we actually officially will launch the campaign. And when it comes to uploading, I want to make sure we have all the versions. So let's say Jim Power. Jim Power had Amstrad CPC, Amiga CD32, Amiga, Atari ST, Atari Jaguar. I want to be able to upload all those versions to the digital storefront, and I want to upload those versions with their original cover art and manual remaster. So that means that we're going to go out, we're going to go buy or borrow every single version or port of every single game that we're going to upload for launch, and then remaster the cover, make sure everything's scanned correctly, and upload that to your package, to your digital package. That's one thing. Another thing that we want to do is launch the cartoon channel, which is still like halfway through to launch, and then maybe hire help, because at the moment I do most of the stuff. I put together orders. My wife helps me. We don't have our employees that we had in Texas anymore. So one thing that I want to make sure that we have and that we take care and we have time for is archive everything, scan, correctly and upload it, etc. And yeah, like that's one of the things, because we have a lot of things that we have to scan, we have to process, and I do it whenever I have free time, and most of the time I don't have free time. So that's sort of the main things that we want to do. And then start building more of a community, start going out there to conventions, to streaming more, outreach to other channels, doing podcasts, just building a community around Bleem. And this starts now, actually, just to be able to get people going and learn a little bit more about us. I feel like we've been hiding for the last 11 years and people don't know us. Another question, one second. Yes, launching a Bling restoration campaign on April Fool's Day is a bold move. Yes, it is. I have a weird sense of humor. And there was another reason why, and I'll get to it in a second, but it actually didn't work out. But the thought is what counts. So basically, in Mexico, April 31st is Child's or Children's Day. And in terms of you celebrate children, your kids, your nephews, your little cousins, your whatever, or you as an adult, you what do you call it? You celebrate because you're your child inside, right? Your child at heart. And I love that because so I love action figures. I love video games. I love going to the movies, going to the arcade, going to whatever things that I loved as a kid. I still love at almost 40. And I wanted the campaign to end on April 31st. So I was like, oh, we need to launch on April 1st, but April 1st is April Fool's. So I was like, that's kind of funny, launching the resurrection of Bleem on April Fool's and say, like, this is not a drill, this is not a joke. So I thought it was funny. Hopefully it works out. But whenever I launch right now, Kickstarter was like, oh, the campaign will end on May 1st. I was like, no, it didn't work out. So anyway, yes. And that came from Kickstarter, by the way. Let me tell them. Oh, who sent that? I didn't get it on Kickstarter. There's another question here. If Sega Mini announced Sega Genesis Mini 3, there's a 3 already? I thought it was only the 1 and then the Mega Drive. So when the Sega Genesis Mini came out, or it was announced, I reached out to Sega and I actually heard back from them. And I was like, hey, we had some games, or like officially published games. We also have some own license, like the EA stuff. Would you be interested in some of the titles? I suggest this and that. And they're like, thank you, but no. So unless they if that happens, I can reach out again. But I don't think they will want that. If they do, I'll be very happy to provide content. So yeah, that's my answer. 1 second. General, people just joined. It's getting hot in here, and if I open the window, we'll hear the river blasting because we have a river right next to it. So still stuck at a 1500. Nobody is really asking anything on Facebook. Let me see if there's comments. There's a comment. Oh yeah, that was it. Let me tell them, like, hey, I just answered your comment. We have a weird sense of humor, but we can see our reply live on our stream. Explain why. Let me give them the Hey, like, congrats on Kickstarter campaign. Thank you, Baron. Are you Baron from Portugal? Sorry if I dox you. Are you Baron, my friend from Facebook? Wait, you weren't from Portugal. Never mind. Thank you. If you have any questions, let me know. By the way, if you see the comments, oh, John from My Heart Pizza sent another question. What are your top three favorite games and cartoons at Omleam? Top three favorite games. So so cartoons, Power Team, and Power Team because from Brazil. Yeah. Thank you, Maron. Yeah. Because I remember you talked to me in Portuguese, so I wasn't sure if it was Brazil or Portugal. But thank you. Anyways, going back to the question. If you have a question, Maron, let me know, or comment, or topic. Um, top three favorite games. So I have my top three probably favorite projects. So one of the games that I'm really excited, it's Gym Power for Amiga Jaguar, because my friend I forgot his nickname, but I don't want to say his name publicly because I don't know if he wants me to. But he's done some ports, Amiga ports to Jaguar, and he did like an amazing job on this one. I feel like it's gonna be one of the best games on Jaguar. And he's like, when are you gonna release it? When are you gonna release it? I was like, I'm saving it. I'm saving it for Glee, man. This is one of the biggest like Jaguar projects. It's such a good game. Happy, I'm really excited for that one and favorite, like one of the favorites. Another one that I'm excited about is Eight Eyes for Super Nintendo, although it's still in the works. Basically, like there's a guy. Let me see his name because I don't know it. I forget the names. Thanks. I forget the nicknames. Congrats on launch. Actually, I want to share the stream. I'm not have questions. I'm talking to the. So there is Eight Eyes. So this guy, his nickname is Infidelity. So we've been working with him for a while. He's done some amazing jobs at converting NES games to run natively on Super Nintendo. Yeah, Siriano J. Thank you, Maron. Siriano J. I talked to him his first name, but I don't know if he's okay me mentioning it, so I'd rather go with Siriano J. Thanks for the save. So Infidelity has been working on converting NES games to run natively on Super Nintendo by doing, I don't know, an amazing hack conversion. I don't know. He does a great job. He's done the Ninja Gaiden trilogy. He's done, I think there was a Metroid one. He's done Mega Man ones. So he's done several for us. He's done Noah's Ark, not the Wisdom Tree, but the Konami one, Target Renegade, Eight Eyes, another Taiwanese RPG, which he struggled, and I'm trying to think if there was another one, but he did at least those four. And I asked him like, hey, well, since now the game's running natively on Super Nintendo, can we just basically hack the graphics to actually be 16-bit instead of 8-bit, 4-bit? He's like, yeah, but I'm not gonna do that. So I put together a team, and we are doing that for Eight Eyes, and probably I'll show that the little tiny sample that we have, proof of concept, but it's working on during the month, the campaign. Oh, we got another pledge. Thank you. And but yeah, but now we're converting the NES version of Eight Eyes running natively in Super Nintendo to Super Nintendo. So now we have the main guy with 60-bit graphics, and eventually we'll do like the enemies, the bosses, the tiles, and then the music is going to be converted, recomposed in 16-bit, and now we'll have like a full 16-bit version of Eight Eyes. I'm very excited about that one. In general, I'm very excited about those conversions because our Super Nintendo content was dying. Like we had just a few titles here and there to release. Um, Marvel Madness. Any chance we can acquire? I'll answer that in a second. So, and after finding this, I was like, this is a great way to keep Super Nintendo content alive because there's no, unless you write everything in assembler code, which is there's a very few people in the world that can do that. There's no other way to make a professional or commercial quality project for Super Nintendo. The C compiler that's out there, it's functional, but it's not. How do you call it? Like it flakes a lot. It flakes a lot on you. There's some bugs, errors that just randomly appear, hard to debug, etc. So, for example, like Shiru, he's like it's almost impossible to do a game. We were doing like Mysterious Song on Super Nintendo, and we ended up canceling that. Now another guy from Brazil has done it with his own library. So it was a sad time for Super Nintendo until we discovered this like I don't know hack to go through NES and Super Nintendo, then hacks and then go back to actual Super Nintendo version. And you notice that there's a very limited amount of Super Nintendo content done because it's really hard to develop to like Mega Drive and Genesis has thrived. You've seen all these projects that are coming out on Kickstarter that I forgot the name. Well, there's a flying game PTF or something like that, and then the Brothers or Astro Bros or something like that. Those look like commercial quality games from back in the day, done by small teams, because the development tools are there that you can develop, expand, and they work for Super Nintendo. No, like we have Xenogears, and the reason that one worked out is because they are using like a special chip, a special hardware on the cartridge that's more powerful than the Super Nintendo. So basically, in my opinion, I don't know if they're doing that. I think that they're only borrowing the video output, maybe the sound engine or the sound chip, and maybe the input from the Super Nintendo, but the processing power and everything is just a whole chip on the cartridge. CPF, Astro Bros. Thank you. Sorry, I'm really bad at names. Thank you, Baron. Game Press just sent out their press release. I hope they picked ours. That'll be helpful. So yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm not sure what other games, man. I mean, Mysterious Song. It's almost done. It's like 99% done. That's another exciting one. Um, Tough Guy. Tough Guy for Sega Genesis is a really well made game. It's made by a team of a Brazilian developer, which I have never talked to or met, and a guy from Italy, that goes as Blackjack. He is really talented in both coding and pixel art. He's like Japanese Neo Geo quality, a pixel artist. And they're also doing. If you saw the new physical releases showcase video, they're doing the Bear game. It's almost 4. I'm gonna be leaving at 4:30. I'm gonna stream off and then come back later during the day because I'm gonna go pick up my kids from school and then eat with them. 1 second. talking to the Eagle, Texas team for delivery of some orders. Questions here. Mr. Rose. Nobody's. Wait, the Discord is pretty dead. What? So for the cartoons, it will be Power Team. The reason why is because I found 10 episodes that were never released, it seems. And we've got the masters from the Copyright Office. However, I'm sorry, U.S. government Copyright Office, but you need better employees and know technical stuff and handle video masters and video editing, etc. Because they capture the masters at 240p, and I'm like, no, send it at least 4080. They're like, no, this is, I just press a button in the machine and it records the CD, and then that's it. So now we have to go through a bunch of different costs to upscale those episodes with AI. But I'm excited for Power Team. I'm also excited for Power Team because we own the rights of Quirk as a character. So hey, Big Porras, thank you. And we can further develop the Power Team IP in both animation, comic book, and video game. So I'm excited about that one. And I mean, Stone Protectors, it's our first cartoon that we acquired. I've always loved it. And then Insectors is another one that I'm pretty excited about. And I hope people enjoy it. I've been working on remastering. By the way, I think I cracked the code on remastering cartoons to HD using slightly AI and a bunch of different tricks. So eventually I'll get to all these different things that we're working on throughout the years on the Bling website, like prepare like a podcast or video or a tutorial. And as a subscriber, as a backer, you'll be able to see those. And eventually it comes out on YouTube, kind of like other websites do. I just heard back from well, Kickstarter just emailed me and said that they're going to pass our campaign to editorial team. Hopefully we can get some games, projects we love, or some social media push, or maybe, I don't know, email marketing. Let me see if there's anything here in, man, why did, one second, I'm going to delete the tweet because it didn't put the, oh, I know what's happening. I'm going to see if I can bring some people in from Twitter, although I plan to do a Twitter space later. I don't know if that's more comfortable for people that are in Twitter. Oh my God. Twitter is being a pain in the butt. Okay. Okay. What else? Any chance you can acquire Primal Rage? Probably non-existent. Back in 2015, I contacted Warner Brothers initially, the team that handles the video games initially, to try to license Lobo to re-release a Lobo game. And eventually I inquired about Primal Rage. My proposal was, because at the time I was speaking with the owners of Rise of the Robots. So my proposal was like, if we acquired Rise of the Robots, I would love to license Primal Rage to make a robot space versus, I don't know, beast game, fighting game. And they're like, no, we have no interest of doing anything with Primal Rage at the moment. And I think it was because they were working on a movie, and that was it. Um, Marvel Madness, I think it's also Warner Brothers. So anything that's stuck at Warner Brothers, unless you throw like several, I don't know, caterpillars full of cash, they're not gonna bulge on selling. Maybe you can license, but still a lot of money. Kiko Cubicle. Who owns Kiko Cubicle? It's probably a no go for Kiko Cubicle, but I'll tell you in a second. IRAM. No, there's no chance I could acquire IRAM games. Maybe a license. So, will Smashing Drive see a physical or console release? Will be amazing to the Switch does. Too. Man, you put me in a hard spot, but there's some exciting news that eventually will come out in the video game industry later. That's all I can say. That's it. However, for Smashing Drive, we've recovered the source code for the Xbox version. So eventually, I'd like to make a remaster now that we learned what to do and what not to do with Clover, and yeah, release it on modern platforms. So yes, it will be, it will hopefully be in the plans. At least the Game Boy version will be on Blim, the game on demand, and then it will be on the storefront on as a digital. How many comics will be at Blim launch? So comics, there's there's a lot of re-releases. There's not a lot of new content, but there's four, and this is why I need help. There's four comic books by Stone Protectors that we own. There's a Calamity Jane, which is new comic book that only the Kickstarter backers have it now, and then there is 9 issues for the Interplanetary Lizards of the Texas Plain. Hey guys, come on, like my video. And then so that's what 10, 14. We own 7 issues of the Skunk. Uh, the sk- and sorry, it was I mean, I acquired that IP, and I wanted to acquire comic book IP, and well, it's all done and said. So we have the Skunk, and then there's that 7 issues, and then we have the Virtual Comics catalog, which is 9 issues. 3 from they call me the Skull, 3 from the suit, and 3 from the Six. So that's 9 more. We have a Spiritual Warfare comic book that's unpublished, and then we have the script, but we haven't done the pencils or anything for Photon, the relaunch of Photon, the ultimate game in Planet Earth. And then we have pitches like, we have another IP that's called Smelly Beast in English, Olorocos in Spanish, that we're going to launch a card game soon in Mexico. And that one we'll also have like the main script and concepts, but nothing yet. So I'll launch. I love to have all the comic books that we. Oh, we also have a comic book that's unpublished, based on the unreleased game by Accolade called. Uh, Whoa! It just slipped my mind. Uh, DNA. What's the name? Juggernauts. Juggernauts. DNA Action. The new breed. Yeah, Juggernauts. Or well, that game had like 5 different titles. So it was DNA Action and Juggernauts. And there's another name. I think we picked that other name, but I just completely blanked out. There's also the Fire Team Rogue comic book, which is we talked to one of the creators. The people, the artists that worked on it, and they were able to find the print quality pages of that comic book. So we have that one, and then that's it. I think that's it. Is there a plan for Blim to make very IP multimedia across games, comics? Yes. So for me, I'm a strong believer of the big four, right? From the 90s and 80s and probably 70s too. Big four are comic book, cartoon, toy, and then later video game. Uh, So yes, my plan is to eventually be able to have enough robust team that we can handle the four things at once for one IP. Like we, all these years, all these other projects that we've done in the past, are, it was a learning experience for what was to come for Gleam, right? Animation, comic book, toy manufacturing, and then game development. So that's our plan. And not only that, I hope to so we can make the jump into entertain, like in-person entertainment, like amusement, etc. So thematic events, etc. Yeah, Kiko is Iron. Will the arcade run for Smashing Driving on Lean? So we will sell as a digital download, right? Kind of like Steam. I plan to sell everything, so you'll be able to buy the download and download the ROM or the binary files, right? For arcade games, although MAME now it's JPL, we can use it. I haven't worked on adding it to our wrapper. And then Web Arcade at the moment, there's not a MAME solution. So for on demand and for a wrapped up version, there wouldn't be a Smash and Drive on Lean. But the binary files, you will be able to purchase them, and you can just pick your own emulator. Like if you like Final Burn, Retro Arc, Main, whatever, you can just load in there legally and play it. Will the subscription be one sub for everything? Yes. So we're gonna have, if you look at the rewards, we're gonna have several different tiers. So mainly it's like very low tier. I think it's only for game on demand, if I'm not mistaken. And then the next tier will give you like access to game on demand, some other stuff, and then the 10% off on everything that we produce and we sell, and everything that's approved by third parties. You get 10% off, right? Like physical stuff and digital stuff. And then the main, uh, which is like around $8 a month, um, the main subscription, you'll have access to everything. Like, if we ever do an amusement center, you'll be able to just come in like it's your house, grab some soda, fill it up, and drink some soda while playing arcades for free. So basically, as long as you're a subscriber, you have complete access to everything that's on the website, and then eventually even events and other stuff. Let me see what else. Okay, and stream just paid me. I wasn't expecting that. So there's more subscribers coming in. Don't subscribe now. Just pledge. So how are we doing? Pledge way 1600s. 13 backers. Thank you guys. There's a comment. Okay. Somebody said no on Facebook. That's very, very helpful. No. Uh, Currents and laws want to see. I think we have no other questions at the moment. Any comments? Yep. So yeah. Let me see the analytics. Oh, we got 14 backers now. How do I see the analytics on this? Analytics dashboard. So how are we doing in terms of campaign? We have 2% funded. Thank you guys. So we've only converted 6 followers from the 760 followers. 1% conversion rate. That's really abysmal. Hopefully people start coming in during the day. Only 176 plays of the video, on the main video. So please watch everything. And if you have questions, please ask. Or if you're excited about something in particular, let me know. I'll be heading out in about 15 minutes. Come back after picking up my kids and picking up my kids and eating some food because I'm hungry. Hungry since like 1. Uh, okay, so Mexico team, we're gonna do a quick order. I'm gonna help them. somebody order 40 wings, and we don't have them in stock here in what do you call it, Andorra. So I gotta create a what do you call it, a shipping label for the team to deliver that to USPS. Assemble it and deliver it. There's one, uh, and then there's another one. I just paid a lot of shipping for nothing because I messed up on the weight. And that's it. So, man, I wonder if I should be on Spaces because the Twitter traffic is dead. Lots of people are joining the what's it called, subscription on the website for news. And I think okay. So okay, hello, Cat Fox. How are you? What surprises are in store for Bling? Any hints? Well, I heard pizza. Everything's out there. Honestly, if you look at the video that we uploaded on YouTube or the campaign, everything's out there. One thing that I'm working on, so that it's not mentioned, it's a trading card game based on the Olorocos, which are a very popular. Ooh, nobody has seen this. Hopefully, the Mexico community doesn't see this because they'll freak out. But basically, we own this IP. It's an IP from the UK, but it was made popular by Bimbo, the bread brand in Mexico, and then they included it as a toy in their bread. It was like a trading card, and then the figure. And I don't have any figures here. I don't know where they are, but basically, oh, Rares, how are you? Please share our stream. Oh, not share. I'm gonna be leaving in the next 10 minutes. But if you want to join Rares and talk about this, because you made a pretty compelling and very interesting video, I'm gonna be streaming later in the day. If you want to join and talk about this, I think it will be very important. And there's a lot of topics that you touched in your video that I think they're important. I think that they had to be addressed and they had to be talked about. So if you want to join, let me know. Email me or just let me know. But going back, so we're working on the trading card game, like a full scale trading card game with booster packs, etc., and figures, kind of like a collectible Pokemon figures. So that's one. The game right now it's in Spanish, so we're gonna sell it in Mexico because that's the biggest audience, and then we're gonna promote it in Spain from here from Andorra, and then we'll translate it and start trying, producing it in English if there's interest. That's one. It's actually really fun working on a trading card game. I created all the rules based on the original rules of the game by Bimbo, and it was like those rules sucked. It was like a 2 second game where like you have your card and the other kid has their card and they have like a eight sided dice. Each side has a color. Each color represents a skill, and each skill has a value. So whoever started, we would drop the dice, and then you say like white. White is intelligent. My value is 5. Your value is 3. I win. End of game. That's it. And then you had to turn in like if you lose, you will have to give in your card. That was it. I was like, you know, it's a little bit too short. So we changed. We based on that originally, we changed all the rules and we made all this. And there's lore now. There's item cards and there's like region cards and there's like power ups if you have the figure. If you have a different special edition figures, and other power ups, etc. So yeah, that's one thing. The other things, the arcades that we were working on, I'll show you. I'll show you. Let's see. How does, I mean, I don't care if competition steals my ideas. So we found a factory in Mexico that still manufactures traditional cabinets, arcade cabinets in wood, like traditional, but they make them commercial quality. They're still like being produced actively. They have like huge arcades are like 40-inch monitors, like for 4 people, like huge ones, and they have that traditional one. So we are. Let me see. Let me change. Let me change. How do I change this? Replace. No. Screen share. So on Discord, that's my artist, which is actually he's pretty popular in Mexico. So we are doing our own arcade cabinets, and the idea here is to sell them for consumers, for home, sell them, distribute them for businesses, with our IP, with our games, and then have our own, eventually our own arcade place, where it's where you can buy physical things from Bleen or other stuff, and they have our own arcades, arcade place, and also we want to do our own convention here in Europe, at least for now, and so we can put our arcades. So that's Candy City, based on the Astro City Candy Cabinet. So a yellow, what's it called? A green, and I forgot the name of this other one. And then my favorite one. You can see if you speak Spanish, you'll know what I'm talking about. So a Neo Geo traditional one. We actually gotta remove this so you could put your own like paper of which title you have. This is my favorite one. Where is it? Where are you? So, well, he made another one here. I mean, it's okay. This is my favorite one. The arcade super system, inspired by the arcade super system, the Nintendo Super Nintendo super system. I love it. I love it. He did a great job mimicking the style of the guy, etc. I just love it. So that's another thing that we're doing, and basically, our costs. Like I talk to factories in the U.S., which they're not really factories. They bring everything from China. I talk to factories here in Spain, and the prices are incredibly high. Like if I wanted to buy one made by the U.S. team, it was like $1,800, and one plus shipping. If I wanted to make one by the Spain team, it was like 1,300 euros. So now having a factory that can handle this commercial quality, like for rough use, they say for rough use, and I'm leaving in 5 minutes. Uh, the prices are considerably less, where we can actually buy them, stock them, and then sell them to the public, or just keep them for like put it in a bar or for a convention at a very affordable prices. Our entry cost is going to be very low compared to like if we buy it from the US or Spain or Europe. And that savings goes to the customer, because if I buy one at 1,300 with my IP, if I want to sell it with my game, I'm going to have to charge at least 1,800 or so, because I paid 1,300 plus like shipping is like $200. At the end of the day, if we want to make 100, $200 to sell it, we gotta, it's almost $2,000 from Spain. If I do it in the US, it's even worse. So with these, our prices would probably be like anywhere from 1,300 to 1,500. If you like 1,200 to 1,500, if you want like home use, it's less. If you want a commercial use, like you want to put it on your business and put tokens and people, it's going to be more like the more expensive one, and eventually we have enough traffic and sales, the prices are going to be lower because we do a bulk. Like these are like if I buy five, these prices. So yeah. So if you want any sort of Rares, another email from Rares. 1 second. we're not selling. Well, yeah, we are selling the binaries, but you're not gonna be there's different areas. So you will be able to buy the binary or the ROM, if the ROM file from our website, right? Legally, you're gonna be legal owner of that specific download, that one. Or if you're like, I don't know anything about ROMs, man, like I don't know anything about emulators, you could buy and some of the games an executable version. So you'll be able to buy a version of the game. Like when you download it, you double click and it opens the game. You can just has options like if it was a PC game, it will work on your computer. If you eventually learn about ROMs and emulation and setups, you can go into that executable and pull the ROM from it and use it on your own preferred emulation, right? We will also sell Steam keys. So if you're like, you know what, I don't want to just have it on my computer. I'd rather have it on my Steam account and on my Steam launcher. You'll be able to buy a version and you'll get the Steam key so you can redeem it on Steam, right? If you want to be part of the subscription, you will be able to, and besides getting everything that we sell directly, either sold by Bleem or produced by Bleem, you will be able to buy it at anywhere from 10 to 30% off. You'll have other benefits where you will be able to access the game on demand player on your browser or your mobile phone browser, right? So it's really four ways to buy the game or to access the game. It depends on you. Now, if you buy the ROM, you have, and there's no way to protect against this. We're gonna go by the owner system, but uh, basically you have to be you have to abide by the owner system. Like if you, let's say, you bought a ROM, a game, and then you put it on your smart device, I don't know, RetroPie, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna sell that RetroPie to some guy that wanted a friend. You can sell that RetroPie with that ROM in it, but then that's it. Like you no longer have that ROM. Like it's as if you sold your cartridge to your friend. There's no way that we can control that, but we hope the community is like, behaving by the honor system. And then that's it. Like we really, really hope people are like, well, I'm gonna honor this license or you it end user license or whatever. It's not a license, you own it, you own the file. But you own only one copy of the file. If you eventually wanna, you know what, I have 10 friends, they all want a RetroPie. They all want games on it and they don't know how to do it. You can buy 10 copies of a game, you'll download those 10 and then put it on those RetroPies, and then hey, CBM, thank you. Hopefully it picks up. I had set up a Vice.com interview, and then the guy's no longer working there. So, boo. But yeah, that's sort of how we're taking it. Like, there's no way we control it. We just hope you're nice. You're nice, and then you just like, hey, well, I no longer should be owning this ROM. I will delete it from my computer because I sold it to my friend, and that's it. But yeah, if anybody that's watching, anybody that just watches this video after I end it in the next minute or so, please share it. Use your friends. Ping any media outlets that you want us to talk to, or they talk about this, etc. I'm gonna head out because I'm gonna go pick up my kids, and then I'll be back after lunch, after dinner, actually, and start hanging out a lot more. And the more questions that you can think of, the better, because you guys are helping me feel make what do you call it? Make it like a really good frequently asked question. So yeah, thank you. I'm gonna head out.